Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome back, everybody, to Real Estate Radio LA. I am your host, Gil.Azcarate, and that's Gil, G-I-L, short for Gilbert. And in Spanish, it's Gilberto Jose Azcarate. So I do speak Spanish if anybody out there would like anything to do with real estate. That's what this show is about, right here in Los Angeles. So I say I'm keeping the dream alive one show at a time. The American dream, if we think about it. What is the American dream? Why did our parents come here? Why did their parents come here? Why are you here? And we sum it up. Usually when you think about the American dream, you think about owning your own home. And I don't think it's that simple anymore, but it is a real estate show. So we're going to talk about real estate, owning your own home. But maybe you already have a home. So is your dream over? What are you going to do next? And I'm going to give you some ideas. But when I talk about the dream, the American dream, I know my parents came over here with the American dream of buying their own home and reached some success. But I don't know a successful person who doesn't own real estate. I really, really don't. Has some big chunk of their investment tied up in real estate. Okay? But my dream is to build a better life for my 3 daughters. So this is a shout out to my beautiful Samantha, my beautiful Valentina, my beautiful Daniela. 3 girls, and just showing you that I am doing it by example. Dreams do come true. Girls, keep your dreams alive. I'm pushing myself. At the age of 56, I just got a call from a buddy of mine when I did my last show, and he said, "Hey Gil, you talked about buying your first home when you were 22, and then buying another home in Huntington Beach when you were 25. And he said that I never said how old I was. So I'm 56 years old. I'll be 57 August 10th. And he made up a good point. Thank you, Mike, by the way. How long ago was that? That was 34 years ago when I bought my first home, right? I wasn't in real estate at the time. I've been in real estate for 22 years, but 34 years ago, I bought my first home. I just recognized it as my path to success. I didn't go to a big college and have my path to be, a career in something or working for a big company. I always knew it was going to be some kind of sales, and I always knew it was going to be built on real estate. Okay, so doing this show right here in the great, 870 The Answer in the hallways of Dennis Prager and Mark Levine and Larry Elder is really a dream come true. So how does dreaming come into reality with real estate? Because there's also nightmares in real estate. I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk today about a concept called lease with an option to buy. And this came along when somebody says, I don't know if I should sell, and I don't know if I should lease. And I said, okay, great. Why not do both? And they're like, what? Yeah, do both. Lease it and sell it. And how does that work? Lease with an option to buy is a concept that doesn't work in every market. I think it works right now because of the prices. And I think as seller right now, everybody's thinking about selling on the top of the market, but what if, right? Top of the market, I want to sell now, but where do I go? I want to sell now, but what if prices keep going up? I want to sell now because maybe prices are going to go down. Everybody is in that same exact boat. We're all thinking the same thing, and nobody knows the answer. But leasing with an option to buy isn't for everybody, but it's got to be a win-win. It's got to be good for you, the seller, and it's got to be good for the buyer. And when I break this down, you're going to see why there's a lot of safety nets in it. It's going to be good for you. It may not be perfect, and you may decide against it, but let's at least talk about it. But lease with an option to buy. An example I'm going to say is a 2-year idea. Okay, so you're not ready to sell right now, but let's say your rents in your neighborhood are $4,000. Okay, and if they're $4,000. I'm not going to get you $4,000 in rent. I'm going to get you $6,000 in rent. And you're thinking, what? Yeah. The lease with option to buy the lease is $4,000. The option to buy part is that extra $2,000. So you're going to get $6,000 a month for the next 2 years, let's say. How's that sound? $72,000 a year for 2 years while you get your stuff ready to sell. All right? Now, that extra $2,000 is going to get credited back to the buyer. And if they don't buy, they lose it, and you get it. And you still keep the house. I'm going to do it very, very simple. That's a very simple explanation. And remember one thing, I do everything for you. All the paperwork. There's a lot of moving parts, okay? But don't be afraid. I say a confused mind does nothing. Right now, there's a lot of people out there that are doing nothing because they're confused. Again, they don't know if this should sell. They don't know if they should rent, or they have family involved. And there's a lot of reasons why you're doing nothing. And I tell you, don't do nothing. Pick up the phone. Call me. This is my personal cell phone number, 818-632-8006. I don't care where you're at. Even if you've got property all around the country, I can help you. This is a strategy, paperwork question. I shouldn't even say problem. So it doesn't matter if you inherited something in Palm Springs and something in Denver, Colorado, and something in Montana. It doesn't matter. We can do that anywhere you want. And I've got agents all over the country. All right. So high record prices, should you sell? The answer is yes. Right? If you've made a lot of money, when does it become gambling now? Right? So if you're in Vegas and you're at the table and you've won a lot of money, what are you going to do? There comes a time when you just get up and you walk away and say, wow, I just made a lot of money. I remember I did that one time in Las Vegas. I was at the crap table. I won a lot of money. The table was crazy hot, if you've ever played craps. And I said, take me down. And the guy says, what? In 20-something years, I've never seen somebody leave a table this hot. And I had that doubt for a second. And I said, give me my money. Right? Because the next roll, I could lose all the money on the table, if you understand the game. I take it down. There was thousands of dollars on the table for me. He takes me aside and he says, good for you. I just couldn't have everybody else do the same thing. So if you've made a lot of money in real estate, take your money. Don't gamble it. Things can change, and they change relatively quickly. Okay, and I had a show saying the market may continue. Again, I may continue very hot. I have a 50% chance of being right. Things change quickly, but at least let's have a strategy together. Record high prices, should you sell? Yeah. If you're really going to get out of the market, if you're going to go to another state, if you're going to do 1031 exchange, there's a lot of things that could happen. But if you're worried about maximizing your dollar and getting enough, you've gotten enough. Right? Now it's plan on what we're going to do later. So with a lease with an option to buy, let's say the top of the market for your neighborhood is $800,000. You're going to get $800,000. What if the prices go down next year or 2 years? You're going to get $800,000. What if the prices go up in the next year or two? You're going to get $800,000. But remember, you're also getting rent, not at $4,000. You're going to get $6,000. So if that is appealing to you, of getting more than average rents, because you need that right now, right? That's $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year. I do all the paperwork, help you manage the property, do all the paperwork from the lease to the contract, and I'm going to be a part of this whole process for the next 2 years, right? All you're going to do is get that check in the mail. And that's what we want to do. We want to make this nice and simple for you. In that 2-year open escrow period, basically, this tenant buyer is going to be living in their house, living in your house. Now, they know the house now. They've lived in it for 2 years. Are they going to cancel because of an inspection? No, because they've already done an inspection. You've already given them their disclosures. It's going to be seamless in 2 years if they buy the house because they know the house, right? You got to remember that about a third of all escrows cancel in a normal period. A buyer comes in, pays a lot of money, does an inspection, cancels because he wants to get some of his money back. Remember, I call that the negotiation after the negotiation. So there's a lot of escrows that just cancel for no reason. But in this case, 2 years from now, they've lived in the house. Their kids are in the schools. They're fixing up your house because they have every intention of buying it. So there's a lot of upsides. Now, this may be good for you, it may not be good for you right now, but at least we can talk about it. And if you just decide, I just want to do a straight up lease, great, let's do a straight up lease, and we'll do a study of your market. And you may say, you know what, I just don't want to wait 2 years. I want to just do a straight sale. Okay, let's do a straight sale. Now, we can do that now. I can come by and see you. I can give you an evaluation of your house. Again, it doesn't matter where it's at. If you can hear me, I know your market, or I have an agent that dominates that market. So they'll do, we can do that. So this is just another strategy. Again, a unique selling proposition, something unique, something that people aren't talking about. And today's show is dedicated to the seller who's thinking about doing a lease with an option to buy. I know my phone's going to ring off the hook with buyers saying, I want to buy a lease with an option. Gil, I heard you on the radio. Get me on that list. I need the listing. I need the seller. This doesn't work. There's a million traditional buyers out there, and there's millions of lease with an option to buy buyers out there. Right now, this show is dedicated to that seller. Okay, that seller who's thinking about maybe doing a lease option to buy. I want you to please take out a piece of paper and a pencil, write down my number, call me, 818-632-8006, 632-8006. At the break, at the end, we're going to repeat my phone number. We're going to repeat my website. My website is realestateradio.la.com. That's realestateradio.la.com. Now we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I'm going to tell you all the advantages of a buyer doing a lease with an option, and all the advantages of a seller doing the lease with option to buy. Again, this is Gil.Azcarate with Real Estate Radio LA. You can find me at realestateradio.la.com. We'll be back right after this.